What's up, folks? It's your boy Bob Hollywood back with another exciting review. Today's review, keeping up with the Asian American Pacific Islander Appreciation Month uploads, figure reviews, is going to be this G.I. Joe, this G.I. Joe classified series, Python Patrol, Vypra. I bought this from Target a few weeks ago. Got it on clearance, as you see, for $12.49. I bought two of her. I know this is one character, but I'm gonna make it two. And yeah. And apparently people are finding these for even cheaper, like $7.50 now. And I overpaid, but it was better than paying $24.99. Everything's better than paying full price unless they stop making figures. But yeah, on the side, we see this awesome picture of her with the skull helmet on. I don't know which one she comes with on in the packaging. We'll find out. And on this side, we see her file card information. And yes, this is a Cobra figure. On the bottom, there's a barcode, some legalese. At the top, it's just a G.I. Joe classified. I think this is the second or third G.I. Joe classified figure I've reviewed in this it's older now, but in this plastic-free packaging. On the back, you see her 5.7 inches. We'll verify, and it shows you what accessories she comes with. Quite a few weapons, a holster for them, and then that mask, that skull mask. And I don't know why it's giving us the details of the shoulder and the waist. I don't, but we'll find out. And un memento, and she's number 88 in the G.I. Joe classified series. And again, this is a Cobra. I'm about to say Cobra Island, a Python Patrol. So this is a Target exclusive. BRB. And folks, we're back. As you can see, she came with her skull mask. Not on it. I thought it was alternate heads, but it's a mask. She has this box, and this is for storage. I'm not going to hold on to that and recycle that along with the regular box. But I did like that her little insert that had the physical character had this. I'm going to keep that. I like that. I do. I really do. Let's go over her accessories. Should have saved this one for last, because this is the most interesting part to me. It is this skull mask. It looks like it has a little eye from Legend of Zelda. It's not that. My hands are dirty. My nails are dirty. Yuck. And this is like the third review I've done today. So I'm a wee bit embarrassed. And yeah, it's soft plastic. And it'll go right over her head. Obviously, the eye holes are covered, so I can't see if it's aligned with anything. But that looks good. That looks about right. And I'll see if it'll fit on another character. I don't have a bald character in front of me. Let's just use this Kyushi. It's a little bit big on her, but it's on her. I don't have bald character, unfortunately. So that looks good. It's a darker gray. Not darker, but it's not. It's weird. The teeth there are off-white, but this is like a gray, like a really, really off-white. It's got some paint there. And that Kyushi is just making me eat my words, because I said, oh, nobody has paint these days. And you see she has this she's got that symbol that's associated with snake eyes and storm shadow. Arashikage? Arashikage. I think I'm saying that right. And you see there's these arrows in the quiver. They're not coming out, but there is a hole, rather, for this arrow. And then there's holes for the swords. We'll put them in there in a moment, but let's finish talking about this. You see this is this is a darker gray. This is a dark gray. See the difference? This looks a little white on camera. It's not. And this is a darker gray, but it also has some gold on the fledgings of the arrows. And then that Arashikage symbol. When there's even paint on the back, they didn't skim on that. Only thing I would have said would have been cooler is if this part where it's textured, if that was just a color, if that was painted. And then the arrow, just like the other arrows, there is gold paint there, and then the head is silver. And and it just goes right there. These little things move to make it give you the illusion of it actually firing. So put that there. I had this. I'm not putting the arrow back in there. You saw that there's a little clip there to hold it. This is a little bit wobbly. It's not, it's warped. And this is really soft plastic, the whole thing. But you saw it looks like you can fire it, and that's for dynamic posing. No alternate hands. So I just have to figure out. I've never fired a bow in real life, so I don't know how she would hold it. I'm assuming that's the handle. And I'm guessing she'd keep that straight, and then she'd bring this in, and that looks relatively decent from that angle, but from that angle it would have looked horrible. So yeah, this is just a soft piece of plastic that's warped. No paint there. So no paint, modern figures. And then she has two swords. One is longer, one is shorter. I do not want to be ignorant and call them the wrong things. I'm assuming it's a katana with the longer one, but I could be wrong. And it's neat. They have little snake heads. I like the shade of red, by the way. It's like a maroon, silver blades. So there's paint there. The only thing that doesn't have paint is the actual bow. And her swords go in the holsters, no problem. You can see I just put it in the wrong way. I did that on purpose to see if it would go in. And it does. And you can barely tell they're there. And then it has a peg hole. It would go right in her back. This is a softer piece of plastic. Reminds me of the initial wave of figures. And let's see if it lines up. I don't think it will. It's not perfectly lined up, but it's on there for now. Yeah. Mine is slightly off. I don't know if you can see in there. It's slightly off. Anyway, let's look at her. She has a black mask with some red on it and like a red bandana, and then the cobra sign on her forehead. And she's got some yellow in there, or lime, or not lime, like a neon yellow, which is, I guess, why it's called Python Patrol. And then she's black and red. Black and red. It's cool. Not a lot of differentiation. And she has on her shoulder, it does say Python Patrol. So that's cool. It only says that on the one shoulder. And her shoulders are slightly different. This one is smooth where it says the Python Patrol. And this one has 3 spikes. But then the rest of the arm, that pad is not the same because these are 2 different molded pieces. But you get what I'm saying. And there's texture here on her wrist guards. Both sides, and on the back of her hands. So that's cool. Texture on the belt. Belt is one solid piece glued to that's attached to this. It's all sculpted. It looks like. I don't think that comes off in any manner. I don't think it's supposed to. Probably this part is separate, but it's not a separate belt, if that makes sense. This is just glued onto there. So this could come off over time. Whoops. Her neck is slightly uneven. I'm trying to turn that some. I don't want to say, does she have a long neck? No. No, it looks good. Boot holes, no treads on the boots. And I noticed with her foot, it's like this. You see how that is? And like, I didn't expect that. Normally it's just like, I don't know. There's a boot cut. It's weird. It's not weird. It just stood out to me when I took her out of the package and I was trying to get her to stand up. And look at her eyes. They are like an orange in person. And they kind of show up on camera. But that's cool. It's a different shade from her flesh. Not much paint on the back. Only thing is this, which is cool because there's no paint on the front. It's not like they painted the front and didn't paint the back. If anything, there's more paint because of that. And she looks good, man. She looks like she's wearing clothes. There's pins on her knee joints, but not in her elbows. Let's go over her articulation. Let's see if she'll stand up on her own. So her head starts there. Looks down not much, but she does have that neck, the double jointed ball neck. That's not how you articulate that, but I can't think of how to say it. And you see it goes up some. So she has all sorts of neck. She can use some attitude, and it rotates 360. And you can also see her neck doing that, which happens. It's just that with her, she has this, and it makes it slightly harder to fix, to remedy. Her arms are hindered by these shoulder guards. So that's all she's going to give you in terms of a T-pose, but they will still rotate 360. There's a butterfly joint in there. It looks like there's a butterfly joint. There's definitely a butterfly joint in there. It's just not moving. Is there a butterfly joint, or am I imagining things? That looks like a butterfly joint. Maybe apply some heat to it. But anyway, there is a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow. This elbow part I thought was softer, but I must have been feeling this just now. And then there's the wrist articulation. Her left hand has a horizontal hinge, whereas her right hand, has a vertical. And then for the waist, there is that ball joint, which gives you all the angles. Not going forward very much, not going to the side very much, but it goes back a little bit. And then that's it for that. But her legs, they go all the way out. And that's courtesy of those drop hips. Let's see how far. Let's see how far they go forward, and they go back. Again, those those hips, the dropping hips help. And then there's rotation at the thigh, and I'm trying to see if it's like if it has where it should line up. And there we go. So yeah, looks good where it should line up. Double jointed knees. Again, these are pinned, whereas her elbows were pinless. She can definitely kick her own behind. And then there's the little boot cut. And then I'm going to grab the little boot. Show your ankle. She's got quite a bit of articulation. Only thing I don't like is the fact that this doesn't really go up because of this. And then she has I'm going to apply some heat to her real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Maybe I'm going crazy. Doesn't that look like a ball? Doesn't it look like a butterfly joint? It's not doing anything on either side, really. No, I'm not going crazy because I don't know, it might be crazy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Let's get her height for you. It doesn't matter. I am crazy. And she is about 5 3/4. Not quite 6 inches. Let's do some comparisons. There is Andra. I almost said Vixen. And then there's Vixen. And there's a wide range of yellows here. I don't know if it's coming off on camera. But there's a decent range of yellow there. Let's do Devin and her line mate, Roadblock. And I did that. I was going to do Titus instead of Roadblock, but I figured, hey, look at the reds. And so there's the reds, a different line, a bunch of different reds. Not a bunch, but these two are very similar, but then there's other reds throughout. Big Land Dog. Land Dog. I knew a guy named Lando. His real name was Orlando. And until he said it, I thought his name was just Lando. I didn't put those two together. So there's Titus and Lando. She's shorter than both. I think she's been shorter than everybody so far. She's had to have been because I believe Devin's taller than Lando. In real life, I believe the actors are both 5'9", but it is what it is. Then good old Ernie Hudson. He's a little bit farther back than her. But they're about the same height. And then Lucio also about the same height. So she's little. She is a little one. And then our final comparison is going to be Jazz Jones. John Jones from Jazz Wares. Jazz Wares makes a decent figures, man. They don't get enough credit, man. They don't get enough credit, but they're going to get some credit soon because we're going to review Samoa Joe. But, yeah, she's shorter than both of them. She has been tiny. This might be one of the few 6-inch scale figures that are shorter than all the members of the review crew. Anyway, folks, I'm glad you came here. It was good speaking to you. I wish you could speak to me, and you can. All you got to do is comment, and I'll get back to you. Like, comment, and subscribe while you're at it, and action figures speak louder than words.